All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Humble Sea Brewing Company, and they're out of Santa Cruz, California, and this is their Juice. So they're calling this one a double dry hopped fused Foggy Triple IPA that is brewed with Nectaron, Mosaic, and Vic Secret hops. It comes in at 10.4% alcohol by volume. No IBUs. Listen, time of review. This can is just over 1 month old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Jesse, for hooking me up with this one. So big thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail video I did that contains all the goodies he hooked me up with. And he hooked me up with 2 different Humble Sea beers, but both of them were these double dry hop fused Foggy Triple IPAs that are, that one was 10.3%, the other one, and this is 10.4. The other one was their Hella Foggy, and I gave that, I believe, a 4.4 out of 5 delicious. And this is very similar to that one. I believe they both have Nectaron and Mosaic, but that one had Nelson Sauvin, and this one has Vic Secret. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Jesse did send me a message a couple days ago and said that I should probably get to this one sooner rather than later because he feels like it's dropping off a little bit, and that was maybe 2 or 3 days ago, so I am reviewing this one before a couple other ones because he said that. So I appreciate Jesse not only for the beer, but giving me the deets on, like, hey, this one's falling off a little bit, maybe you should get to it, so on and so forth. I appreciate that. So let's give it a pour here. I mean, this is still just over a month old, so I'd imagine it's still quite tasty, but maybe it's not as good as it was when it was 2 weeks old. Who knows? Sometimes beers do fall off. I'm a big proponent nowadays of drinking beers a little bit older. A lot of these beers have, they're dry hopped so much. They have a lot of hop burn, and they're very green when they're 2-3 weeks old. So I prefer honestly drinking a lot of these between the 4 and 6 week mark, and some of these can even hold up for a couple months. Even 3-4 months. It happens. So anyway, that pours out this really hazy, nice orange color. Looks like a, foggy triple IPA. Can't see through it at all. Very murky and turbid. Had about a finger and a half of this off-white, soap sudsy looking head, and it is dissipating a little bit. It kind of looks like, like soap suds, honestly. And the other one, I don't remember doing that. I think it just looked beautiful, and I don't remember it. So I think this one looks a little bit different. Anyway, let's get nose. All right, so it's nice. So I kind of see what Jesse's saying. Now, smelling this has like a little bit of like a faded kind of like older triple IPA kind of nose. Now, maybe it's just because Jesse said that and, I'm just letting it get to me, but really it does. It has a little bit of like a malt character that, typically with these new England style hop forward beers, the malt's kind of secondary, tertiary. You don't even really think about it. This one, I'm getting a little bit of like breadiness, a little bit of like a honey sweetness. But then it has a really nice, rich, like pineapple, stone fruits. I'm talking peach, apricot, mango. And I just bought some fresh apricots, and this nose is kind of reminding me as I'm eating like a ripened fresh apricot. Yeah, but the pineapple's there. There's a little bit of citrus, like a pink grapefruit, and a little bit of like a sweeter orange and tangerine. And then there's this really nice, dank, herbaceous kind of quality too. Maybe the Vic Secret's bringing that to the table. Probably a little bit of the Mosaic as well. So now as I keep on going back and it's opened up in the glass, that kind of malt, bready, honey thing going on, that is kind of dissipated a bit. And the fruity, juicy kind of characters are coming to the forefront. And I appreciate that because that's kind of what you want in something like this. Yeah, it smells good. I don't think it smells as good as the Hella Foggy, but... or maybe it was Hella Fog. I can't remember the name. It was either Hella Foggy or Hella Fog, but it was delicious. Anyway, this smells pretty good now as it opens up. So let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Jesse. Yeah, so I'll tell you right now, this is really good. That Hella Fog or Hella Foggy, definitely better. Definitely better, just from the first sip. The body on this one, higher side of medium, lower side of full for 10.4%. I'm fine with it. Might be a bit thin for some, but for me, it's fine. The mouthfeel, it's soft. It's smooth. This one's not really creamy, but it has a nice soft smoothness. Definitely not a ton of carbonation. Yeah, a little bit less carbonation than I think the Hella Fog as well. The taste, that, to me, the first thing that hits me at the front of the palate is over-ripened sweet apricots. And it's really nice. Yeah, I would say the only reason I'm saying apricots is because, again, I just bought apricots, and like it just has that kind of feeling to it. You could say peach, maybe even mango. I'd say more of like maybe even nectarine. I would say more apricot for me. So that's what kind of hits me at the front of the palate. After that, I'm getting like sweeter, juicy pineapple, a little bit of like a peach, a mango, maybe even touch a melon. There's an underlying bready, honey kind of malt character. Again, it's not that big, but it's noticeable. It's there. I kind of feel it. What really impresses me about this beer, though, is it's nice and sweet, but halfway through the palate, I'm hit with that dank herbaceous kind of quality, and it kind of, this is full-on dry with like a mild to moderate bitterness. This is more mildly bitter, but there's a big dryness on the back of my palate. So it's a big 10.4% Triple IPA, and it's sweet, but man, is that dryness welcome, because it definitely balances it out. So it's scary drinkable because both of the Triple IPAs he sent my way, it's hard to detect the alcohol. There's a warming in my chest, 100% in my chest. I can feel it like in this area. On the palate, no way. Maybe the dryness is like alcohol dryness as well on the back of the palate, but you don't notice the booze at all on the actual palate. Like anywhere on the palate, you can't detect this as 10.4%. The only reason I know it's that big is because of the body and the warming in the chest. I could tell this is at least a 9%, maybe even a 10% beer if I was doing a blind. It's really good. This is really, really tasty. I think I would have preferred to have this one before the other one, just because I don't think this is as good as that. I gave that a 4.4. I think this is going to get probably close to a quarter point lower. Why? It's not as complex. I do get a little bit more of the malt. I don't think the body and the mouthfeel are as good as that one as well. It's still really tasty. And for my first two Humble Sea beers, I think they did a pretty good job with these Triple IPAs. The problem with Triple IPAs I typically have is they can be too sweet or they can be too boozy. And if I'm drinking a 10 to 10.5% Triple IPA, I want them to hide the sweetness and I want them to hide the booze. Not completely, but you know what I mean? I want it to be balanced because I want it to be deceptive. I want to drink it and feel like I'm drinking a 7.5 or 8% double IPA. And a lot of breweries do them well. And so Humble Sea's 2 for 2, but this one is not as good as the other. So rating on Juice from Humble Sea, I have no problems giving this a low 4.25 and go 4.15. I think that's a fair score for what I'm drinking here. This is not an amazing Triple IPA, but it's still pretty damn good. And yeah, price and availability. I think Jesse said the price point on these were $25 a 4-pack. So I mean, it's California. That's what you're going to pay for Triple IPAs. I know there's at least like 3 or 4 other breweries that I've had before that's the same price point. Like I think in North Park, Green Cheek, Monkish. Like there's breweries in California that it's expensive in California, especially in certain parts. And I get it. I understand. Availability, I don't know. I think Humble Sea doesn't get huge distribution, but I know they are a pretty hype brewery. And I'm really thankful that Jesse was able to send 2 of their Triple IPAs my way. I'd love to try something maybe a little bit more like in line of what I enjoy double IPA wise, like maybe like a 8% double IPA from them if they brew them. I would love to see what they do with something like that, but I'm not complaining. I thank Jesse for these beers. A lot of fun. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. If you've had this one before, anything from Humble Sea, if you've had any of Humble Sea's Triple IPAs, post in the comment section. Let me know what you think about them. And yeah, I'm really excited to try more from them down the line. Hopefully I get a chance to do so. Once again, thanks to Jesse for not only this beer, but all the beers he sent my way. Thanks everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.